On May 27, 1927, Charles Lindburgh successfully flew the first nonstop flight over the Atlantic Ocean, arriving on Paris of that day. To celebrate his achievement, President Calvin Coolidge offered him the Distinguished Flying Cross in a ceremony that would take place by the Washington Monument on June 11, 1927. The event was filmed by several vintage newsreel companies at the time, with interest in being the first in showing the film in Times Square, New York City. By this time, it was becoming apparent that the fastest way to mail a film from point A to point B was to send it by way of airplane, and most film companies headed for the College Park Airport. How appropriate it would be that the film about an airplane on a nonstop flight across the Atlantic Ocean would be delivered by airplane. Not so, said the Pennsylvania Railroad. It decided that steam trains would have the last laugh here. Universal International Newsreel agreed to the stunt, which was eliminate all speed limits not involving a bridge, curve, or tunnel, get the fastest steam locomotive available at the time with only 2 cars, and tell the driver that no speed was too fast. That locomotive, Pennsylvania Railroad Class E6s number 460, its tender, a baggage car, and 1 coach car would be called the Lindburgh Special. All other trains yielded to it, and it was given a straight shot with all clear signals. The train departed at precisely 1:14 p.m. from Track 8 in Washington Union Station. The Lindburgh Special was alleged to have reached 95 miles per hour before crossing the Anacostia River and exiting Washington, D.C. Reports were that the train was moving 115 miles per hour in Delaware. Unfortunately, due to the speed, the water scoop for refilling the tender broke, and the train had to make a stop in Wilmington for water. Once the locomotive arrived in Newark, New Jersey, the film would be immediately placed inside an electric DD-1 for the trip underneath the Hudson River. Because the New York tunnels were too long for a steam locomotive exhaust to clear. As it happened, the Lindburgh Special reached the Manhattan Transfer around today's Harrison Path Station in 2 hours and 56 minutes. Although several airplanes reached New York City before the Lindburgh Special, the baggage car was actually a mobile darkroom. As such, the film was processed and copied 10 times while the train was moving at over 100 miles per hour. So when the DD-1 arrived under Manhattan, 10 copies ready for theater were sent immediately to Times Square. Universal International Newsreel's films were playing a full hour before any that arrived by air. The locomotive, E6s number 460, was preserved in the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania in Strasburg and rests in excellent condition. 97 years later, we now have all the assets in place to recreate the entire trip inside Train Simulator. There are several open questions regarding the train speed, such as exactly how fast it went, including claims that it reached 115 miles per hour. In this simulation, we will attempt in real time to replicate the ordeal using the exact same train on the exact same trackage, under the exact same conditions, and the exact same rules to recreate the journey. This involves utilizing a set of employee instruction manuals from 1934, which is the earliest that I have available, to assist in enforcing the like railroad rules which would have existed at the time. We can use the results and compare them with the recorded trip to help validate speed claims and other experiences the train crew had. Let us see a steam locomotive get to Newark, New Jersey as fast as an Acela Express 97 years later. And here we are in Train Simulator. We now take the place of the esteemed engineer and firemen, the veteran crew, some of the Pennsylvania Railroad's best ever, to take this film to New York City as fast as possible. We have 1 coach car and 1 baggage car, our tender, and the locomotive itself. Number 460, which of course is 435 in the simulator because you can't really control the numbering all that easy. So we're going to get the train ready. The first thing that we need to do, let's get some lights on here. I need more than that. We don't have much time. We're going to begin shoveling coal into the firebox. We need to get the fire mass up to about 1,800 pounds. I'm also going to open up the sunroof for the time being and put the windbreaker out. We'll be going 100 miles per hour, so once we get going, we're going to shut these. I am going to use the HUD, although the real engineers would have not had availability to this. I need it for two reasons. One is the fire mass, because it's impossible to tell, even by looking into the fire, how much coal is inside of it, which is something that the firemen could have done in real life. Now, we don't have a speedometer either, and the Pennsylvania Railroad number 460 does not have a speedometer either. But seeing as how this has been done by a veteran crew with years and years of experience, and I do not have the years and years of experience to compensate for the fact that I do not have the experience, we will be referring to this speedometer here, although we will also make it a point to check our speed the way they would have done it, by counting seconds between mileposts at some point. So the way I'm going to be performing my drive is against a training. I do have a fair amount of training, maybe 20 hours worth in Train Simulator. So we're going to drive according to a table that I have created for maximum speed. So the first thing we're going to check is to make sure that the boiler is cycling at 196 to 205 psi, which it is. That's good. The next thing is the cylinder cocks. We're going to open those. The damper is open. We're going to make sure that the blower goes on full heat. The water is 0.93 or better. We're going to start the injector right now just to get it trickling in, because we're going to use water like crazy. The fire, we're still waiting up to get up to amount, and the cutoff, we're going to full cutoff here. And there's our target fire level. We're good to go. Instead of heading for the College Park Airport, like most other news companies at the time, the film is dropped off by car quickly at Washington Union Station just after 1 p.m. The film was rushed through the station, onto the platform, and into the open doors of the baggage car waiting on track 8. And the doors are closed. This is the time the train left in real life. We are immediately releasing the brakes and punching. Just wait for that brake cylinder pressure to come down. And we're underway. Okay, once we reach 2 miles per hour, we're closing the cylinder cocks. We're bringing the regulator open to 50%. Fire mass is good. Water is exactly where it should be. Blower, damper are open. Cylinder cocks are closed, and the boiler is cycling. We're going to bring the train brake back to hold. Now, at this point, I will bring the regulator back. We are going to have to negotiate the Washington Union Station terminal trackage here, which will derail us if we do not respect the speed limits here. So this is the one of the few places on our route where we will actually have a speed limit. Okay, passing Pay Tower now. Currently heading for the P&W line. And once we get to Signal Bridge J, there will be no speed limit. Alright, checking our water sight glass, that's about where we want it, so we're going to increase the water now in anticipation of us punching it. Okay, this is Signal Bridge J. When the train clears J, we have no speed limit. And that's 3, and... okay, we're clear. Going up to 100% power here. We're now opening the regulator to 100%. Reverser, cutoff rather, is full open. It's now time to shovel more mass into the fire. Our water level is still dropping, so we're going to increase the ejector inflow slightly. Blower and damper are open, the cylinder cocks are closed, the brakes are in hold, and the cylinder cycling. Now at 20 miles per hour, we're going to bring cutoff back about to the halfway point here on the first cycle. Alright, and now out of the station, we'll turn some lights off here to save us on frame rate, and we'll turn the classification lights on. Okay, now at 30 miles per hour, we'll bring the cutoff back to 60% here. Fire mass is exactly where we want it. Alright, now we are accelerating very slowly, and that's because we're going up a 1% grade. After we go through this next interlocking here, you can see the grade peels away, and we will very quickly reach 100 miles per hour. Okay, here we go. Next action in my operations table is at 50 miles per hour. Okay, there's 50. Regulator stays at 100. Cutoff, we're bringing back to the halfway point here. Fire needs to be, it is 1785, that's okay. Checking the, okay, the water's too low. We're increasing the inflow against the boiler here. Blower and damper goes as it should be. Cylinder cocks closed. Brakes are in hold. Pressure's cycling, and then let's see, there is no action until, oh, 7 miles per hour. Bringing the cutoff back another quarter turn here. The fire mass is still acceptable. The water is slowly going up. For the sight glass, it's kind of hard to see it here. It is going up here, coming up on 80 miles per hour now. Next action that I care about is at 85 miles per hour. And we're looking for a milepost that we can use to check our speed here. Okay, here it is, and mark. We are at minutes 34. 1934 was the time. We're above 85 miles per hour. Bringing the cutoff just a little bit more towards the flat section there. It is now time to shovel more coal. Water level is rebounding. The blower and the damper are good. Cylinder cocks are still closed, and we should be coming up on that next milepost pretty soon. Remember, the benchmark was 95 miles per hour crossing the Anacostia River by the real train. That was the report. Alright, minutes 34 to minutes 13, and we're doing 98 miles per hour now crossing the Anacostia River, which means we are on track. We're now coming up on 100 miles per hour, which means we're bringing the cutoff back to about 30% or so. The water is right where it should be, so we're going to decrease this slightly, bringing the fire back up. So So that was 34 right to 13. So that was a 13 would have been 73 minus 34. That was a 39-second mile. And if I look up a 39-second mile for the timetable here, it's actually on the scale. Okay, fire mass is exactly where it should be here. Now coming on with the Landover line here. So a 40-second mile would have been get out my slide rule here. Would have been a 90 mile per hour mile, actually. Okay, we're looking for 100 miles per hour now. That is the speed that our engineers told us, our very intelligent trackside engineers told us that we need to be at. We're also approaching the Lanham station, and when we get to the Lanham station, I will use that as speed mark. Okay, there's 105. Cruise. We're keeping the water between 0.7 and 0.9, fire 17. 100 cutoff, 25% downhill, 30 flat, 35 uphill. Going uphill now, so bringing the cutoff to about 35% here. And I need to look for the landing station. That will tell us, our engineers knew exactly when we should be crossing at 1:23 better. That will work. There's the station, and we're right on time. It's 1:23 right now. Next time will be the Harmon station. Okay, it's time for more coal. Just to go a little faster here. Alright, you can see that the boiler pressure is dropping, and that's to be expected. The reason for that is we're going uphill. We can't maintain this level of power, but that's okay. We're about to start going level, and then we can bring the cutoff back up again, which will allow the boiler pressure to recover. So we can do that now. Now doing 102 miles per hour. Meanwhile, inside our Vogel dark room, they will be blacking out the windows here and performing their magic on the film in order to get it produced. Alright, the water's getting a bit low again, so we're going to increase that. Fire is good. These positions are in a really bad place, but you see there's no water in the sight flash. That's what I'm trying to get at. Let's see. Once we go underneath Enterprise Road there, that is the highest grade on the system. We need to be maintaining about 105 in order for this to work. And so now we effectively have no speed limit. The next time a speed limit applies will be, for our timetable, it will be the curve at Edmonston Station. However,
we know from the modern Acela Express that we actually need to slow down for the Frederick Road curve. That is not here in the timetable because trains of that day never exceeded 75 miles per hour. All right, going downhill now, so we're going to cut off all the way back to 25%. That's going to let our boiler pressure max out here. Along with our speed, we're now over 105. Now in new territory, we're just peaked at about 106.8. All right, we're going uphill again, bringing the cutoff back up to 30%. And here is the line to the Potomac River, passing the buoy station. 106 miles per hour. Okay, cresting the hill now, we're going down to the Patuxent River. I'm bringing the cutoff back to 25%. We should get really, really fast now. Passing the Bowie State HBCU at 108. Alright, time for more coal. Okay, we are now moving 110. Just topped at 111.6. Crossing the Big Patuxent River at 111. All right, going uphill now. We're going up to 35% cutoff. We've got plenty of water now. I'm going to reduce the water. Now, I should mention right here, this is the road cut. Did not exist at the time of the Lindburgh engine, which meant we would be going this way on the original path. But the speed limit here is 95 miles per hour, which we can take at 105, so this is not going to affect the journey time. Back up to 107, we're going downhill. That's the town of Woodwardsville. It's still there today. We're about to cross the Little Patuxent. Across the Little Patuxent, 107, we're going uphill. Now, legend has it that one of the airplanes from College Park found the train line, found the train, caught up with the train, and paced it for some time, rocking the wings in a taunt before accelerating off and speeding ahead north to New York City. So in a taunt back, okay, now we're now going uphill, so we're going to bring the cutoff back open again. See, that's plenty of coal. We don't want to go too much because we'll exceed our fire grade limit. That will actually slow us down. I really don't like how this, there we go. Doing good on the water. It's like lots of it should be. Also, let's do another speed cop. I need a milepost. Passing the Odenton station right now. Back up to 105, now in level territory, going back to 30% cutoff. Okay, here comes our milepost, and it's marked. So that was 3114. Got the old engineer's watch ticking. Downhill, cut off to 25%. And back uphill again, back to 30. Okay, there it is, and blue, 49, 14 to 49. So this is the only way that the engineers would have had 100% sure they knew what speed they were. That was a 35-second mile. That means we just averaged that mile at 102.85 miles per hour. Not quite fast enough. We're going to be at 105. Alright, continuing through our checks here. Water is nominal. Fire mass is nominal. Cutoff is nominal. Continuing on as fast as we can. The other story is that there were other trains parked alongside the tracks that had to yield to this train because we yield to nothing, which means everything yields to us. And the engineers of the other trains would wave their hats in approval at us speeding past. Along with very attentive train fans. Alright, we're back up to 109. Uphill again, cut off to 35%. It's time for more coal, and the water's getting too low. Pull that windbreaker and we'll go just a little bit faster here. It looks like we're going downhill. We'll bring that back to about 5%. Actually, you know what? There is that curve at milepost 106.5. Yeah, we're gonna bring that back. That won't exist for about 50 years. Alright, yeah, let's put the brakes on just a little bit here. Enough coal. Let's bring it back to 95. I don't want to derail. Alright, and so we'll go to 35% and open it back up. Okay, a Harmon station. 135. That is exactly on time. So that means so far we've pretty much kept pace with the real train. If you average everything out. Going downhill, bring it back to 25%. We'll cross the Patapsco River. Crossing the Patapsco at 105. Going uphill now. And it's time for loco. Water is getting too high. Bringing that back down. We don't want to lose it off the top of the sight blast. Ideally, we keep it right here. Pass through the Wind Station pretty soon. Actually, it would have been called Elkridge. Or Elkridge. It might be Elkridge Land. Nope. So let's do that at 35% there. Alright, the water is now in a reasonable range. We'll try to get that level off here. And we're good shoveling now because we're going to have to start slowing down for that curve at Evans Station for the time to We're now at the site of the future Baltimore Beltway. Top of the hill now, cut off to 30%. Cut off to 25%. So yeah, I mean, I am adept at driving this train. I drove it along this route. Okay, this is the curve at Frederick Road. We want to come back down to at least 80, ideally 75. I drove it on this route to the Manhattan transfer, I think 4 times now. And I drove it on the RFP. I drove it on the Horseshoe curve. I drove it on the Chicago racetrack. I drove it on the New York New Haven line, as well as the Springfield line. So I have a lot of, in terms of as it goes in Train Simulator, I have a lot of experience driving this locomotive in Train Simulator. But I don't have hundreds and hundreds of hours like a veteran crew have. Alright, that curve at Edmondson Station is 50, and there it is. Alright, so we're closing up here. Coming on the brakes. We're up to 40%, or 40 PSI rather. We gotta bring the speed back to 50 miles an hour. Water's going too high. And prepare for the next turn, which is Fulton interlocking, and that is 30 miles an hour. We should be able to take Fulton at 40. We know this because of the Acela Express. That's good right there. Alright, we can pop the head all the way out of the train now that we're going so slow. In fact, probably close that windbreaker enough. that too. There's no reason for that to be there. Bring the cutoff up to about 60% given our current speed. And let's leave it there because we are coming up to the BNP tunnel. Let's confirm, yes, we have a clear signal. All right, at this point, we're going to light up lamps. And turn our cab lights on. We've got to make sure that the blower is on, yes, and the firebox doors are closed. They must stay closed. We cannot shut them. All right, we're going too fast. We're in the tunnel now. So the water looks like it's good. We'll go ahead and restart the injector. In real life, what you got to do is you swiftly open it and add water at the same time. You can't really simulate that action because I only have one cursor. So I'll just make it as quick as I can. Alright, we're too slow now. Alright, clear signal, good, that's what we want. Out into the neighborhoods. Alright, back in. Just in time. Alright, we're now going down like the 1.3% rate or something like that towards Baltimore. And now we're coming up to another thing here, right? So we're coming up to BNP Junction. So it says there's two speed limits for BNP Junction. The first says after passing all diverging switches, 18. But then it says all other movements, 12. Which means we need to get down to 12 miles per hour to go through all the diverging switches. That being said, it's not time for that yet. We'll wait as long as we can. Alright, let's see. Water is pretty much where it should be, so I'm going to start increasing that now. I'm going to let that speed keep creeping down. We need it to get to 12 miles an hour. Jones Falls. Alright, 13, that's good enough. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. The simulation of this train track here ends, and now we're going to have to jump into a new simulator. So one of the things I will do is get our time, but I'm also going to need to use that time to get us back into the simulator as smooth as I can so that nothing happens. same time. Alright, past all diverging switches, now we can go 18 miles an hour. Save on the frame rate real quick here. Well, technically that's a diverging switch, but fingers crossed. I'm not slowing down again. Okay, and the time we were hoping for was 1:45 p.m. Ooh, we're a minute behind. Alright, so 1:46 it is. And now the new simulator. Okay, here we are. So we've made the switch. Now, at this point, we have to start thinking about Union Junction. So that is 12, everything. The whole thing, 12. Also, we should check our, let's see, our water's good. We'll increase that just a little bit. Fire mass is actually, we're in good shape. We're not going to be able to shovel once we're in the tunnel. Make sure, okay, that's closed, and the blower's out. Jesus Christ. Put the train brake to low position here. Alright, so we're going to have slower speed limits for some time. For BMP, it's technically 30, but we know from experience we can actually go a little faster than that. Speaking of which, I'm actually speeding. Let's get the light on, going into the tunnel. And now the whole train should be in the tunnel, so we'll go back up to full power here. We're going to get to about 35, 40 miles an hour. Alright, and then at 20 miles per hour, we're going to start to bring the cutoff back some here. Safe now out of the tunnel. Let's get some more shoveled in. We need a little bit more water. This turn is a 45. So this is the between a point 300 feet north of Patterson Park Avenue and the bridge over Broadway on the Union Broadway. So that is what we're on now, and both of these curves are 45s. Once we clear this, we're good. Okay, open it up. Now at bay interlocking. That's a big deal, so we'll worry about that when we get to it. Now about 50 miles per hour, cut off to what it should be. So 60 care about it. Alright, that's enough. 60 miles an hour, so we'll come back exactly one full turn. And our water's getting crazy. Towards bay interlocking now, so we can go ahead and yeah, let's start braking for that. And let's shovel, because we're gonna go major acceleration in just a few seconds. Perfect timing, we're down to 55 miles an hour, and we're paying out. Alright, my next time is outrunning. Past the clear signal, and we're leaving bay. Alright, that is full. Alright, so here we go, restarting at 60 miles per hour. Regulator is going to 100%. Cut off, we actually want a quarter turn. Fire's good, fire's good. Blower and damper, open cylinder cocks and close. Brakes are in hold position, and boiler pressure is dropping. That's 60 miles an hour, so cut off back to that full turn. And then another quarter turn at 7 right there. Alright folks, so we're good until we get to the Bush River. We're now done with the Baltimore Division timetable number 20. I'm switching over to the Maryland Division timetable number 22, dated from 1935. First thing I'm concerned about is the Bush River Bridge draw span, which is a 60. There's a couple of other restrictions for I-1, L1, L5, L6, M1, and A4 engines of your E6 engine, which means those don't apply to us. Alright, 85 miles per hour, there we go. We're going to cut off that diagonal there to 35%. Good on water. Let's go ahead and shovel a little more here. Alright, passing the Middle River right now. Action at 100 miles per hour. That's enough. Go 100 miles per hour. We're in the cutoff now, down to about 30% here. Let's check our coal is good, our water level is high. Blower open, damper open, cylinder cocks is closed, and use a train brake to hold. that film is processing all right. State Airport Station. I missed that one. Are we going for it? Running faster now. We did about 105, 106. It was actually slower than 105 most of the time. But we're closing in on 107. It's completely flat here, by the way, so it's not a downgrade. Pressure is, you can go a little bit more on the cutoff here. How high the boiler pressure is. Otherwise, it's just wasted steam. Through Chase, Maryland. Using the Chase menu. Yeah. This could either be amazing or really bad. It was really bad. No speed restriction on this bridge. Isn't that beautiful? Remember, in 1927, when this ride took place. Whoop. Getting way too low on control here. When this ride took place, the catenary would not be built for another 8 years. So it would have not been here. Alright, so you're going to have to decrease cutoff to try and arrest that pressure. Can't let that fire mass get under 1700. Come on. Give me a track side. Well, at least I will take this opportunity to zoom all the way in. I want to get a nice shot here. Should be able to get it when we get to the Hitchcock station. Alright, good on full. Alright, so one of the things, our signals are, this route isn't perfect when it comes to signals. Oh, yes. She was like, damn, that's fast. Oh wait, I forgot, this is the 1920s. Wow, that train has it. If you don't know what I just said, look up 1920s slang. It's a video on YouTube. Yeah, so anyway, like I was saying about the signals is this route is technically still in beta, so the signals don't work 100%, so it'll give false signals between here and Perryville, so we're just going to have to ignore it. Call up the tower and say, hey, what the heck is going on? Call back and tell us they won't worry. It's just our signals. Our signals do not know how to deal with a train moving this fast. Oh, and that reminds me, coming up to the Bush River, we need to get down to 60 miles an hour. Running over this at 65, that's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. The biggest thing that's going to hurt is our speed, so we'll bring the cutoff back up to about 60% and go back to 100% on the regulator here. I'm going to re-enter my table at 50 miles an hour, so we need full regulator. 60% cutoff here. The fire mass is good. The water is also good. And loads. And for those of you who are curious, I did do calculations based on our water consumption and our fuel consumption. Don't worry, the train can make the journey exactly as the real life one did, just needing to fill up at the right time. Oh, let's see, we're now up to 70 miles per hour. We want to cut off to about 40%. This means that we've also lowered our boiler pressure, which isn't good, so we're stuck on the slope all the time here. Let's bring the cutoff to 20 the train brake back and hold. That should recover boiler pressure quicker. Doing good. We'll be able to re-enter our table now. So 78 miles per hour, we should have a cutoff on Gomes. Go diagonal at 85 miles an hour. Oop, got it. Back to 35% now. We need to not do this again. We're probably going to be 2 minutes behind at Aberdeen. See what we got, and it's 209, so it's just one. Alright, next time is Newark, Delaware, which is going to be quite late on. Time to shuttle. Alright, the next thing that I'm concerned with is the Susquehanna Bridge. The whole thing is 45 miles per hour. So I need to make sure I don't lose track of where I am. Oh my goodness. This is insane. I cannot believe that speed. That's just unreal. Alright, that's enough. Alright, here comes the curve. And let's see, there should be a bridge. And then halfway down the straightaway, there should be a signal bridge. It's that signal bridge that we want to begin to accelerate. Why did I stop showing? It's not time. So there's our bridge. 45 miles an hour. That means we're going to re-enter our table at the 30 mile per hour row, so it converts over to 60% here. And we're good on the wire. Good. So I should mention as well, you might have recalled when I did the 100 mile per hour video, the chuffing basically stopped. The chuffing stopped when I got to about 102 miles per hour. That's because the sound curve actually ended at 102, and so I had to edit the sound file to tell it that it was in range until 125 miles an hour. And now the chuffing does not stop at high speed. So we're crossing the Susquehanna River right now. That's looking towards Harrisburg, and that's looking out over the head of the Chesapeake Bay. And 3, 2, 1, now, 100%. Passing Perryville. Oh, come on. Alright, so there's a curve at Charlestown that I'm going to take at 90. Actually, let's do 95. Alright, 70 miles an hour. Cut off to 40% here. Fire mass, let's add some fire. Water is too high. Lower hood, amber hood, cylinder tops closed. 191 PSI, that's exactly what it should be. Alright, next is 85 miles per hour. We're going to cut off back again. I did find it interesting how cutoff uses the wheel system a lot like British locomotives. It's not using the lever like most American locomotives. This was made locally. I believe Baldwin and Altoona. So the Acela can do 135 miles an hour here, but although we're doing 105 to 110, that is fast enough if we make no stops to keep up with the Acela. Coming up to that 95, so we bring the cutoff back up to about 35% here. Just a little bit. Here's our 95. Back up 100%. Faster than 107. It's 108. I don't know what's different about the train this time. It's the same conditions as before, but she wants to go. Alright, looks like we just topped out there. 108.7. The speed should help us to time. The signals are working. Going even faster than full distance. didn't yet. That must have happened back when we were trying to set up that bridge shot. Okay, so the next thing I need is my time for Newark. I'm hoping it's at 225. Let's see what it comes up as. Station building, and boom, it's 226. So we're still 1 minute behind what the engineers told me to be at. So if we're in Delaware and we're doing 107, we'll call it 107. They said the real train was doing 115. Maybe that was a downhill. I don't see that happening because the only time we've broken, the only time we've broken 110 was going down into the valley of the Luxembourg. Stopped about 10 minutes. Churchman's Crossing by this point. Looking for Newport. That will let us know that we're getting close. this is Newport here. Set the cutoff to about 3/4 open here, and it's time to break. Coming down to 30 miles per hour. We will be making a stop in Wilmington to get some water, as the rail train did. So we're going to open the cylinder cocks up, prepare for a stop. And we don't know, at least I don't exactly know how long the rail train stopped for, but I have a hunch that it was about 10 minutes. So that would give a flow rate of about 6 to 8 gallons per second for the water tower. And I imagine that all the water towers in the line were told to stand by to fill up this train. So I bet the guys at Wilmington were very excited to see the train stopping to get water at their tower. When we stop at Wilmington, we're going to want it to be 2:34 on the clock. We'll see what it actually is. So we'll bring the reverser all the way up to cutoff now. The water tank is right after the end of the platform here. Right there, we got it. Alright, we'll turn the blower off. We're at full cutoff, no regulator. Good on fire and good on water. Although we're going to be a little bit lower, so let's just trickle this. And we arrived at 35, so we're 1 minute behind, and we'll be full around 2:45, so about a 10-minute rest here.
Alright guys, they're telling me that it's going to be really quick from here, less than a minute. While I waited, I cooked a burrito on the superheater. I don't know if they allowed that in real life, they probably didn't, but I'm getting hungry. And so is the train. Okay, I've just been told it's done. We're getting out of here. Next stop, Manhattan Transfer outside of Newark, New Jersey. North of Wilmington is important. Okay, there are now no speed limits until we get to Sharon Hill. Where we'll be 90. Cross-reference on my timetable. It was listed as tracks 1, 2, 3, and 4 between Academy and Division 4, 1/2 mile north of Academy. And the speed is 60. But we know her as between milepost 5.4 and Sharon Hill. We know the Acela takes it at 105. The Northeast Region takes it at 90. So we can take it at 90. The reason why in steam train you're supposed to put the brakes back to low after release is because the train brakes are powered by the boiler steam, and so the compressor will come on. When the compressor comes on, it will not steam from what would otherwise be going to the wheels. So by putting it in the hold position, the effective float the brakes.
across the river, that is our destination state, New Jersey. We'll be only able to see it for about the next 45 minutes or so. Oh my gosh, we're doing 107. Fuck that, that wasn't. Hook. We're entering Pennsylvania right now. So that tale about this train doing 115 in Delaware, I don't think it was going quite that fast based on what we demonstrated today. We topped out at about 109. I could believe something under 110. Above 110, I'd feel a little bit harder to do that. Keeping in mind that, at the bottom of the valley, we topped at about 112.
down to 90.
Bump the reverser up to just a little bit. All right, coming into the turn here. So there's Sharon Coleman this pass. Signal bridge 200 feet inward from Arsenal interlocking division board south of Darby Station 60. It's curved and it's coming up right here. Going down to 60. Alright, then between Signal Bridge 1075 feet outward from outward end of Market Street Tunnel and Signal Bridge 200 feet inward from Arsenal Interlocking Station 40. Just past Arsenal Tower. It is funny how the track designers, the closer in you get to Philadelphia, you can tell they were from Philadelphia because they get unbelievably specific about their instructions. Alright, between a 700 feet north of the South Street overhead bridge, which we're just passing under right now, and a 1500 feet north of that, 30 miles per hour. So it basically kicks in right as this curve is starting. We are hoping that it's 3:04. It's 3:05, so we're about 45 seconds late. That's okay. And we now have to do this one more time. And we're going to the new simulator. Okay, welcome back. Here we are. Last time. We can now see the rest of this journey through on just this simulator. So we're about to traverse Zoo Interlocking right now. And let's check the signal aspect. We can do 45 once we clear that track stuff. So we got a cab signal aspect, but that doesn't really apply to this. But it does mean that we can actually continue up to this track speed of 60. Entire area here coming down to 30. Yeah, the instruction is an entire area from in between Broad Street, Suburban Station, outward and the jump over 8 connection signal bridge. 1075 feet outward to the outward end of Market Street Tunnel, Girard Avenue, Schuylkill River Bridge, 34th Street and 44th Street, and New York to Pittsburgh Southern. 30 miles an hour. In other words, zoo interlock.
We can see downtown Philadelphia, which would have been a lot shorter at this time. This is before the Empire State Building was even built. So, Mantua Tower has informed us that at North Philadelphia there will be a switch that will need to be at 45 miles an hour pole. And the speed limit through North Philadelphia Station, track clearances is 40. To shovel.
time to slow down for Frankfurt Junction. And both curves are 50. See the boiler, that's full, the cylinder cock's closed, train brake is in hold, damper and blower on, water level is decreasing from a high position, so that's good. Fire mass is increasing. First rate is at 60, and we're just negotiating this last curve in Frankfurt. Once we come out, this section, I'm moving over from the Philadelphia terminal position timetable number 25 to the New York division timetable number 20, 1933. And in here, a bunch of really annoying collisions that are set for 70 miles an hour. The first is east of Torresdale Station. I actually need to check the location of this now. It's after Horseshoe. These bridges are limited to 7. There's no real curves to contend with until we got all the way up to Lisbon. next location that I need to check my time at is Trenton. This is the, well, actually no, they're actually down to 80 miles per hour, so it should be good. Torresdale should be at the end of the next curve, and then a bridge, and then we'll back up. Bridge right out to the station, and there it is. This is the reason we have to be 7. There will be a lot more like it. Go back up again. The next one we have is milepost. Oh wait, no, it's not milepost. It's Green and 2,700 feet west of Bristol Station. All bridges. That's a while ahead. These sets of bridges are all 670s. And green will basically be at the beginning of the next straightaway after Bristol, which is itself on a large left-hand curve.
All right, bridges are beginning. Last bridge going back up to 100%. Alright, the next one is at milepost 58.16 west of Horseshoe. So we got a bit of a run. This is a lot more realistic.
coming up to the next bridge. Right here, bridge west of Morrisville Station. And we would have Morrisville Station here. There's a bridge east of Morrisville Station. And then after the Delaware River is done, we're now making like George Washington and crossing the Delaware into Trent. Passing Trenton at 3:34. Still 1 minute late. So we'll slow 270. Alright, so there's an overhead bridge. Next overhead bridge will be Sweetbriar Avenue. When we go under that, we can, at that point, be certain that we passed it. Right about here. This is the Mary Run Bridge. Probably this low spot. And now we're going back up. As soon as we cross that bridge, we're 100% beyond. We're going by Hamilton. Alright, that's it. 100%. Now the next thing that comes up is 835 feet west of the New Brunswick Station and west end elevation. That is also 70. There we go. this time, the tower men are going to be radioing in that we're now in New Jersey, and they're going to be getting the electric DD1 ready and positioned to the right side of the platform that we will be pulling up to on the left side. So that when we stop, all we have to do is just wheel those carts across the tracks from the steam train Noble Dark Room to the DD1's coach. Hopefully that processing is finished. Copied a whole bunch of times because we are getting close. coast. So we are starting to come into New Brunswick now. And that elevation begins rather abruptly, so we have to stay alert with that. Alright, decelerating now. Okay, perfect timing. The elevation begins right here. And this time, instead of doing the overhead shot, I'm actually going to try this perspective. Time 3:49. Now north of Brunswick. And we need a picture. This is a 95 station. Second one is 8.
should say Menlo Park, because Metro Park didn't exist at the time. This is a little bit loud. H.U. is coming up. This is kind of what I was getting at earlier when I was mentioning that, you know, the stretch between Trenton and New Brunswick was kind of the last chance to really move, because from here on out, it's kind of going to be, you know, getting slapped with speed restriction after speed restriction. We need to get down to 70. Crossing over the North Jersey coastline. About to go by Rahway. We can go back up to full speed. But not for long, as the Elizabeth S curve awaits. We've got a number of things coming up. There's a 70 bridge just south of Elizabeth. Look at that front truck. Then there's the 55 on the curve itself for 55, and then a bridge after it, which is 70 as well. Looking for Linden now.
Okay, there's a 70 that I want to come down for now. Should see the S curve pop into view in a minute now. This is the first 70. And now we're coming down to 55 for the curve. Okay, it's going to be this one. It's kind of the first bridge before the curve. Either way, we're going too slow now. Going through the S now. Which is right here, that's a 70, and then we're free again for a little bit longer. Here's that bridge. Now, need time. That was going to be more over 3 minutes behind what happened. eastward, somewhat restriction between RD and Single Bridge 13. now time to start slowing further. So 35 would put us back to 60% cutoff. That's enough shoveling. We're practically done at this point. Alright, need no brake. Close enough here, so we keep it at this speed. And now we are actually getting close to our destination. So the signals are starting to become more restricted. Then we have between Signal Bridge, 1,300 feet west of the Newark passenger station, and Acela Express, that's where we're going now. It's 45. This will be fun. We get to blare our horn in Newark station. Alright, that's an advanced approach. We want to prepare to come down to 30 miles an hour. Actually, it is a limited clear, so we're good to continue at 45. Crossing the Acela River drawbridge now, and the speed limit once on the other side increases to 55 miles an hour. Ah, the Manhattan transfer is upon us. They are going to know we're here. That's trained for get ready to move this thing across the platform. Alright, so in modern times, it's not here anymore, but the platform at the Manhattan transfer will be right here. So that is why we're stopping the train where we are. This is the modern-day Harrison Pass station, and we've come to a stop. We're now going to wheel it across. We're bringing the train to full braking here, and we're going to safe everything right now. Prepare for the end of our journey, essentially. And all we got to do now is shut the dampers, cylinder cocks open, and bring in the cutoff back. And one more train simulator for the final ride into New York City. It is now 4:07. Okay, we've come over to OpenRails for the final leg of the journey with the E6s, which has done its job. We can go no further with the steam train, and we have to switch it over to an electric. So, in 30 seconds, the E6s arrives on this track. Right here, where the camera's positioned, is the Manhattan transfer. So this is simply an island platform on each side that allowed passengers from long-distance steam trains to transfer into electric-hauled locomotives. This is 8 years before the time of the GG1, so we do not have the GG1. Instead, we have the DD1, which is kind of the precursor. So right now, the train would have arrived. The people and the film would be transferred immediately over to the car, and here is our DD1. We're going to immediately leave. We're going to put the shoes down because it uses third rail, reverse her forward, and release the brakes. And off we go.
Alright, so the speed is limited to 35 in the Manhattan transfer, which is where we are now. We're just clearing that right about now. So at this point we're good. By the way, even though it's electric, it still has the steam piston design. And we're expecting to move over to the other track momentarily. So we're going to keep our speed below 45 miles an hour for the time being. And then once we move over, we're good to go the max speed on this section of the route, which is 70 miles per hour. We can't overspeed in this train because unlike a steam engine where you can just keep trying harder, in an electric locomotive you can actually burn out the motor and do some serious damage, so we're not going to do that. Here we go. We'll go up to full power if the power curve will allow us to. Let's leave it there. Coming up to the dock draw. That is 45.
which means we were 3 minutes faster. Now, unfortunately, I don't know how long that stop for water lasted. It was probably more than 5 minutes. It was probably no more than 15 minutes. So we're guessing with about 10 minutes would probably be the median time of speeding. So if that is the same, then what we've learned is that the time or the speeds that we were going at and the time that it took our train was comparable to within just a few minutes, just 3 minutes, of what it took the real thing to do. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I think we've pretty much ascertained that the actual train speed would have had to be somewhere between 100 and 105 miles per hour. Wasn't as high as 115. I don't think that was realistic in Delaware unless there was a significant grade that may have existed due to trackage at the time that doesn't exist anymore because the trackage in Delaware is actually quite flat. So I'm not exactly sure what to think of that. What I can say is that the train would have had to at least do 100 miles per hour in cruise in order to make it in the same time that it did. So probably 100 to 105 miles per hour was likely the average cruising speed of the Lindburgh engine. And on the bottom of downhill grades, it probably reached about 110 or 111, maybe 112 miles per hour. I believe we topped at 111.9 crossing the Big Patuxent River. So that is my guess for the maximum and average speed of the Lindburgh engine. So by now, if the pilots didn't get lost, and believe me, they got lost. There was one great episode by the WTYP podcast that basically talked about airmail and how the politicians used to send their sons and daughters to try and learn how to become pilots last minute so that their, son or daughter would be the ceremonious person being the first person to deliver mail to, whatever location. And it went about as well as you could expect it to. It was just a complete disaster. People got lost, but that's my point, is that anybody who didn't get lost trying to deliver the films would have landed, I don't know if you would land in Teterboro or LaGuardia or I'm not sure what was what New York City airports were around at the time. There may have even been like a landing strip in Brooklyn, for all I know. I doubt there was one in Manhattan. But anyway, my point is just about all the aircraft have arrived, and they probably sent they're in the process of sending their videos to dark rooms attached to the back end of the theaters to have them be processed. And now here we come with 10 films that are fully copied and ready for the big screen, arriving in Manhattan right now. That's it, right there. We're lining up with the stairwell, bring the train to a stop. And that's it. The Lindburgh train has arrived in New York City at precisely 4:20 p.m. So that took 3 hours and 6 minutes, or 186 minutes. That's not bad at all. I believe that's faster than a Northeast Regional, not quite as fast as an Acela. I think an Acela takes about 2 hours and 40 to 2 hours and 50 minutes, so it's about maybe 20 minutes faster than us. Where we lost most of our time was in the Manhattan transfer, you know, moving things over. That was just one stop that put us way behind the Acela Express, plus the longer tunnels slowing us down. The Hackensack draw also slowing us down there. So now, despite the fact that we did this, they're now lugging the films up the stairs towards the theaters of Times Square. Maybe they'll use the subway. Maybe they'll use like stagecoaches and whatnot to get them there. But history shows that they were playing in the theater more than an hour before any of the films that arrived by air did, because of the mobile darkroom, and because we arrived 3 minutes sooner than the actual train in real life. We would have also been successful today. So that's all we've got. At this point, we'll go ahead and throw the link up so that you guys can find the actual film to watch. And I hope that the locomotive engineers were able to do the same that the Pennsylvania Railroad gave them off for the rest of the day. And they got to go into the theaters to watch the film that they just helped transfer at high speed. This has been the fastest Pennsylvania Railroad steam locomotive run in the past, and likely, well, considering the Pennsylvania Railroad no longer exists, this was the fastest Pennsylvania steam locomotive run for all time, past, present, and future. I've been Dr. Aeronautics, and I will see you guys for the next adventure. Bye-bye.